Shawn Adair is one of a kind. There's only one person quite like him. The adventurous attitude, he brings something new to the table. I stumbled across him through the Instagram feeds of Jen Kish and Dean Somerset and Megan Calloway, and it all just kind of pointed to the fact that I should probably get him on the podcast. He's a great dude with a story, a background that is a little bit different than your average trainer, but he sets himself apart by walking his talk. He's always active. He had to build up his clientele before he opened up his gym. He didn't do it because everybody else was doing it. He did it because he was bringing clients into his apartment building and his neighbors didn't like it. And that's a story I can get behind. So I hope you enjoy this episode. There's some spots with some glitchy audio, but for the most part, we got it all in. I hope you enjoy. I hope you share it. Thanks for supporting. Let's do this. Welcome to The Lifestyle Chase, Season 2. This podcast features high performers who have found a way to live their best life while balancing their health, wellness, friends, and family. I'm your host, Chris Little. Let's get started. The Lifestyle Chase is brought to you by Yeg Fitness. Yeg Fitness is Edmonton, Alberta, Canada's healthy lifestyle community, creating and supporting active living for all. Check them out online at yegfitness.ca and on social media at Yeg Fitness. Welcome to the Lifestyle Chase, episode 95. I am joined from his car by the one and only Shawn Adair. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. I had a busy day today, so just hanging outside. The gym's really busy. I was planning to do it in the gym today, but it's a little busy right now. It's really noisy, so I just came down to my car, and the Wi-Fi is a little sketchy here, but we're making it work.
Absolutely. So what's a day in the life for you? Like, when does it start? How many client sessions do you go through? What's it like?
So it does fluctuate a little bit. I'd say the average day, I wake up around 3:50. I leave my place around 4:15, and I start training about 5 o'clock for the most part. The average client starts around 5, but I do finish around 2 o'clock for the most days, except for today. I'm there from 5 till about 7:30 tonight. So it's going to be a long day today, but most days I'm done around 1 or 2.
Just crushing it. So, like, how do you balance it all out? Like, what is balance for you?
Balance for me, just as long as I get some meals in and I get my own training and I sort of I have the day where it's sort of structured like that, I'm good. I like to get about 6 to 7 clients per day. And as long as I get, like I said, my own meals, my own training, take care of yourself first. I think a lot of trainers out there really focus on just cramming their schedules. They don't take care of themselves first. And that's a big, big factor when you're trying to help other people. You got to take care of yourself.
Absolutely. What's your staple meal? Like, what's your favorite shake?
I think so. Every morning I have like this shake I make every single morning. I have like a magic bullet, one of those things really small. I grind up an avocado, banana. I have some vegan protein. I put in some collagen powder and some maca, and also I throw in a little bit. So sometimes I throw in some Oreos to sort of spice it up and get some more calories in there. I have a crazy high metabolism, like it's insane. My girlfriend hates me pretty much.
Well, you're pretty active. Like, you're always moving around. Like, from just following you on Instagram, you're always just trying out new movements, stuff like that. So, like, your non-exercise activity is going to be pretty high.
Exactly. Yeah.
What was your intro into the fitness industry? Like, I read up a little bit about you, but like, what was your first workout like? Like, what led you up to that point, and what did you feel as you were doing it?
So you mean like how I got started in the fitness industry, like how I became a trainer?
Essentially, and just like even just your first time as like somebody's client, like your first experience in fitness, like really just learning movements and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So I sort of got pushed into fitness because of my own injuries. I've had really bad shoulders for pretty much my whole life. I had multiple shoulder dislocations, so anterior dislocations. My shoulder would pop out, mostly from skateboarding and inline skating. I was grinding on rails, and I was extremely unhealthy. My body was sort of falling apart. And a doctor actually told me, he said that I need surgery to fix my shoulders. I have 2 torn labrums still currently on both shoulders. He said, get in the gym, because I didn't have enough money to take time off work. Obviously the healthcare is free here, but it was the time off work I couldn't really afford. So I started going to the gym. I actually got a kinesiologist that was also a personal trainer. He was doing some active rehab on me, and it was covered through WCB because I actually dislocated my shoulder at work. So I thought to, get a trainer, and I thought, help some do some rehab, help get my shoulders better. So that's my first time ever in the gym. I was sort of pushed into it. It's not like I sort of went in just to work out. I was sort of like forced to do that because my body was sort of falling apart. And then I got really into it. I just started like really seeing my body change, and my shoulders started feeling better. It got to a point so bad that I would just go in the morning. When you do like a basic stretch in the morning, get your arms up, stretch. It actually popped out doing that, and I had to, take the day off work. It was crazy. So he helped me a lot. The kinesiologist really helped just perfect my and just get hooked on the gym. And then the more I did it, like I said, the more I just really enjoyed it, and I just kept doing it for about 3 or 4 months. I had some ups and downs, and then I started going again, back and forth, and then I got some friends doing it. And eventually I sort of phased away from the sort of party lifestyle friends and moved into, I met people at the gym, we connected, we talked, and I sort of completely changed my life. It was insane. It was like going from partying every weekend, every single paycheck I had was going towards doing like drugs, like not hard drugs, but doing drugs, smoking weed, drinking. It was a completely different lifestyle switch. And it was all started from that personal trainer that sort of helped me rehab my shoulders. And I kept seeing more people to help rehab to sort of help the process. Seeing a ton of different trainers, a ton of different physiotherapists, and I sort of really enjoyed everything I was getting, and I could see the mental and physical change, and it just sort of motivated me to keep moving forward with it. I sort of felt that I could actually make a living from it, from the people I was talking to. They really sort of motivated me to move forward. So that's sort of how I got started as sort of in the gym. And then for personal training, like I said, I just really I saw the change in my own body. And then I really wanted to help other people because I'm really passionate about helping other people, especially in the inline skating and skateboarding. I love teaching people tricks and, like pushing them to do things they don't really think are possible. If you have like a mental sort of boundary, or you're going to jump a set of stairs or grind down a rail, I really like to help them sort of motivate themselves and build confidence to do that. So I took that same aspect and sort of brought it to the gym, and I loved it. Like, it's just such a good feeling to get that energy from someone. And the more I help people, the more I just like really got into it and sort of transitioned from doing construction and landscaping all the way to like full-time personal training. So it's been going about 10 years so far, 9.5, almost 10 years pretty much.
That's incredible. What inspired you to open up your own gym?
I was getting really busy so actually my first gym, I went to, do you know Steve Nash by any chance?
Yeah, I know
Steve
of
Nash
him.
Sports.
Yeah.
I do you know like the gym?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, the
Vancouver,
gym, the
chain.
franchise, yeah.
I went there for like a interview, right? And it was all sales. It was crazy how like they didn't care about me, the quality as a trainer. They just asked me like, this is how you sell. This is how you sell clients. This is how you sell memberships. And it was just like, it completely put me off for a bit. So then I opened up a gym in my apartment. I actually changed my whole living room. I have pictures I can show you later. It's pretty funny. My whole apartment changed into a gym. My girlfriend freaked out. It wasn't that big of a place. I think it was about 400 or 500 square feet, and we didn't even have a living room anymore. I put down black mats on my living room. I put down a squat rack. We were on the second floor, so it didn't really go that good for our neighbors, but it really helped me just build up. I would do construction all day from 7 till about 3 or 4, get off work, go home, train people till about 7 or 8. And it got so busy that I had to just like venture out somewhere else. So I started working part-time at a fitness store, and it's called Fitness Town. I started training people in the back as well at that place, as well as my apartment, and then slowly just cut down my hours from construction and started to translate that into personal training. And it got so busy that I thought to open up a facility. So I just talked to a few friends. There was actually 4 of us at the start. There was a group of 4 of us that wanted to open up a gym. And then I started looking just on Craigslist. I just Googled Craigslist, warehouses, and this place popped up. I'm actually sitting outside of it right now. I don't know if you can see there, but can you see anything?
Yeah, I can see it.
Sort of. Not really, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a gym right here. So we're on the second floor here. And I found this place and I wanted to jump on it, but the other people that were with me, they backed out. So I was completely by myself at this point. I had this place. I told them, I said, look, we got to take some action, right? Otherwise, it's all talk. We're all a group of guys. We're saying we're going to open up a gym, and it's all talk until you actually take action and do it, right? And that's the scariest about any sort of business that you're trying to do is the startup, is actually just like taking action and like making those things like real, like making them like come to life. So I was by myself at this point. They backed out completely. So I was calling around to my friends, and I just straight up, I said, hey, you want to open up a gym together? And eventually, my friend Carlo that I went to PT school with, he's like, sure. Like he's pretty laid back. He just straight up just like, sure, let's do it. Let's open a gym. So then, like the rest is history. Right? We just connected. We had a meeting. He came in with me as a business partner, and then we just opened up the bar 5.5 years ago, roughly. So it's been going really good. We're still trying to get a different location because we are on the second floor, and we do have issues with a guy downstairs. So we're trying to get a second location right now, or a bigger location. But yeah, it's been going 5 years so far. So it's going good.
That's like the best gym opening story I've ever heard. Like usually people aren't prepared for that stuff. They're going out on a limb and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it was scary. I'll tell you, it's the most terrifying thing is getting like an empty building and filling in equipment and spending a ton of money and just hoping that in a few months it'll be full. Because I had zero clients coming here. This is about 45 minutes from my house roughly, so it's quite a bit of a drive. And my current clients, I only had maybe one of them that would travel, but I had to stop everything I was doing. I stopped my part-time work. I stopped everything and just put 100% focus into the gym. But it turned out really good. After a few months, it started filling up. We had a ton of events here, and it's been going really good so far. So we want to expand a little bit bigger.
Absolutely. Who are three fitness professionals that you look up to?
So three fitness professionals, I would say Eric Creasy is one of them. He's awesome. He puts out really good information, really detailed. He's got a lot of experience, practical and clinical as well. Another person would be, just off the top of my head, there's a lot. Eric Helms also really good. Brett Contreras is really good. There's a lot of people. Brad Schoenfield, there's way more than three. Stuart McGill is awesome. There's a ton of professionals out there. It's hard to pick just three of the top. I would say Stuart McGill because he's been in the game a long time. That guy's been like in the sort of rehab professional as far as back pain goes for years. So he's one of the sort of founders of all that. The top, him, Brett Contreras, and Eric. I'd say those are my three.
What are you most proud of in your fitness trainer journey so far?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing I'm proud of is getting out of that poor lifestyle I was in, and just like the huge mental shift and the huge change of friends and the style the style of people I was hanging out with. I think the biggest thing is just the whole lifestyle. Honestly, it's a lifestyle switch from that like party lifestyle, the drinking, the doing drugs, and all that type of stuff, into like completely changing all for my health and not doing any of that stuff anymore. I think that's probably my biggest accomplishment, and that's the thing I'm just sort of most proud of and sort of lucky, I guess, that the fitness sort of jumped into my life, that the doctor pushed me into that.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest sort of accomplishment, right?
My next question for you is, like you stand apart from a lot of trainers in the industry because of like your work with calisthenics and stuff like that. What inspires you to do the training style that you do?
The biggest thing is enjoyment, honestly. Like I think that's with anyone. Like you got to find something you enjoy. If you could adhere to it, if you can sustain it, then you'll be really good at it. And you'll sort of make improvements all around. I started off with obviously the traditional bodybuilding. I wanted to build up my chest and biceps and all that stuff, just like everyone does when they first go to the gym. But I just thought like this is boring. There's got to be something more. It got boring to go to the gym and just do curls and chest all the time. And I didn't even train legs when I started. I don't even think about legs, right? I just went in there, chest and tries, back and bis, all that classic stuff. And then I saw a video actually called from Bar Stars, if you know who they are. They're just a YouTube group. Have you heard of them?
Yep.
Yeah. So I watched a video of Bar Stars and I was like, these guys are crazy. These guys are like, they've got good physiques, they got the aesthetics, and they have like a very athletic movement to them. It's sort of like broken down gymnastics, and they turn it into like a workout. And I started venturing into that. I started just exploring that, and I found like it's so fun. It sort of brings me back to that same feeling I had when I was doing like skateboarding and rollerblading, where it's just sort of like tricks and like skill work rather than just exercises. And that enjoyment just like made me, I guess, just keep pursuing it and keep working hard at it, because that's the biggest thing. I love it. Like it's the best part of my day is like in the gym with just like focusing on my own self, training, working on skill work, working on strength work as well with like powerlifting, and just combining them both together. I feel they both relate a lot. Some of the easiest people I had to train are people with dancing backgrounds or gymnastics backgrounds, because their body control is so good. They're able to be in the best position possible to produce the most amount of force and be in a safe position. So I find that really translates over a lot to powerlifting as well. So both the calisthenics together.
That's so true, and it's just like their mind muscle connection is just on point, so it's easy to
Yeah.
deliver a cue and for there to be a light bulb moment.
Exactly.
So I
That's right.
saw in your feed you were doing some work with Megan Calloway, and I've watched her
Yes.
seminars in the past. How did you two cross paths?
So we've been following each other for a long time. This is like we always chat back and forth and everything, and she's amazing. She's honestly like I get blown away at the stuff that she learns because I just show her one thing and I just give her one cue and she just does it. Like I've never had anyone else ever be able to learn something as fast as she learns. It's insane. People take months to learn a skill that she does in a few minutes. Like her strength level is above anyone, male or female, that I've ever like been in contact with close. You know, like obviously there's people on Instagram and stuff, but in face to face in person, she's the strongest person I've ever met. And I say like male, female, anyone. It's crazy. We just connected through social media, right through Instagram. We chatted, and she was wanted to learn a muscle up. She's the pull up queen, right? She
Yeah.
has a whole program that's I think 250 pages of pull ups. So then I asked her, I was like, you need to do a muscle up. Like you are the one that needs to do it. So we went back and forth for about like I don't know 4 or 5 months, and finally she's like, okay, screw it, let's do it. Let's just set up a date and go for it. And we just connected and it went really well. That we did a first session. We taught her some technique and stuff. And then by the second session, she had a muscle up. And, I'm thinking that she'll get it in a few weeks or a month or two. And she got it in the second session. It's just because she had the strength level, but she wasn't able to display her strength because she didn't have the technique. So when she had the technique, she just blew up. And now she's doing things that like I have no other person that can do the stuff she does. It's amazing.
That's awesome. With your continuing education, have you ever traveled to
Mm.
learn things? And if so, what was your favorite place to have learned a new skill or learned a new just method of training?
I would say like for as far as traveling to learn, FST was probably the biggest impact. It made the biggest impact on my own coaching. I traveled to Arizona for that. I actually made a little vacation out of it. I went to the Grand Canyon and spent some time there. That course was amazing. That bringing that sort of type of therapy into my training and be able to address rehab issues and help people perform better, be in better positions, restore mobility. That brought the biggest result to my training. To be able to mix that in, that combined with FRC, which is a more active approach, the passive plus active I find gets the best result for overall for pretty much like generally speaking like everyone. It's the combination of both. You see a lot of therapies or a lot of specialties or a lot of passive work like massage, RMT, chiro. The patient or the client just lays there while they get work done by the practitioner. But when FST, there is a portion of it where the client works with the practitioner together. They contract, relax, they do some PNF as well, and then that combined with FRC, I found gets the best results. So I would say FST is the best one for traveling, and then FRC is second. But I took it here, so it doesn't really count as far as traveling. But FST, yeah, in Arizona, I highly recommend it. I took level 1 and 2 with Ann and Chris. That course has changed the game for sure. Be able to have that sort of second approach to training rather than just doing the stuff in the gym. You can go on the table and do some passive work along with active to get them moving better.
What was the crossroads in your career where you were like, I'm going to do FST? Like, what was the light bulb moment?
I saw a girl or a lady, I guess, on Instagram, Sarah, the stretch therapist. I don't know if you heard of her, but she has some amazing videos. She's from Toronto, actually. And I talked to her, and I actually talked to Vinny Rehab as well. And I talked to who else? I forget the name. I talked to one other practitioner. This is like a few years ago. I was gonna eventually go to school for RMT, and I was thinking to go in that sort of route. But then the more people I talked to, the more they said, the information is very outdated. If you want to go into RMT, do it just for the ability to charge clients through their benefits, to get that plan. Otherwise, you will learn a lot from continuing education courses. So I decided to go the route for FST because it's a lot shorter, a lot cheaper, and I see that the results are a lot, I wouldn't say better, but different from other methods. So I just took that route just because I was inspired by other people and just from the people I talked to.
What made you think that you wanted to do RMT? Like, your training sessions must have been fairly busy. Did you have time in your schedule that you wanted to fill with RMT clients?
I just wanted to have the ability to help people in other areas, like to take some sort of rehab sort of training I do and take it to another level. I wanted to just sort of gain some more knowledge and overall just keep learning. But the more I looked into it, the more I didn't really want to sit there and massage people. I wanted to use that as a way to sort of rehab someone in a sort of sports specific way. But then the more I looked into it, the more I thought like you do have to do those like gentle massage and Swedish and all that type of stuff to get the cert and to go through all the courses. So I want to do the stuff I do now, but just more of an approach to help someone from the rehab side of things to sort of cover both aspects. I think the biggest thing missing in the training industry is to they're so separate. You know, the stuff in the gym and the stuff, say, in the clinic are completely different, but they need to be more combined together to overall help the person. Because a really good example, long story short, I had a client who hurt his back deadlifting, right? And what do you do when you hurt your back deadlifting? You go to a physiotherapist, or you go to an RMT or a chiro, right? Something like that. And he was dealing with back pain for 2 years, and he's never once been assessed. His deadlift never once been looked at by these professionals. They just saw the symptom's back pain, so they addressed the symptom got better, but they didn't address the cause, which is his poor movements in the gym. So these two things, as far as the rehab approach goes for people that get injured in the gym, I think need to be more combined together. And it's also just to strengthen people. Say it's not a rehab issues within the gym, just build strength from an active approach, I think. So I think that's the biggest thing, just to combine them both together.
Yeah, I really like that approach, and I've like even from like the physiotherapist standpoint, like I have seen more physiotherapists in on the gym floor with all of these
Yeah.
like work share spaces. Like I work in Evolve, and I don't know if you've heard of Evolve, but generally
Evolve.
there's like it's based out of Alberta, and we have locations in
Okay.
Edmonton and Calgary. And so you share space with like physiotherapists, massage therapists, athletic therapists, personal
Nice.
trainers, all kinds of people. And so you'll see all kinds of different
Nice.
backgrounds and practitioners in that same space. And you get to see a lot more like
Nice.
active sort of like um, working out with the physiotherapist, which is great to see from a personal trainer
Nice.
standpoint.
That's awesome. That's perfect. That's how it should be. That's really good to hear. That's awesome.
So you had a totally different lifestyle before you got into training. What was your high school experience like? Were you a jock? Were you a nerd? Like, what did you think you were going to do when you grew up?
High school was honestly horrible. Like, I barely made it out of high school. I barely graduated. I barely showed up. We were in the group of kids that just went to the forest and smoked weed. Like, we were. High school was a really rough time. I'd say it was a very depressing time, really rough. I moved out when I was 17, so I was pretty much in my last year of high school. I was living on my own. It was a really rough time. I don't want to go too much in detail, but it was just a rough time. Um, and then when I got out of high school, and it was still pretty bad till about 21, 22 around there, and then things improved. But yeah, I wasn't a jock. I was pretty much like one of those kids just smoke weed, skip gym class. I didn't go to gym class when I went to high school. The one thing I do remember, and it's stuck in my head to this day, when I did go to gym class once, I went to the weight room. We had a weight room there, and I picked up a 20-pound dumbbell, and I couldn't even curl it. Straight up, I couldn't. A 20-pound dumbbell, and I'm like, what the? Like, I see these other guys doing it, and I was so weak and fragile. Like, I weighed 150 pounds and 6'1". And I still remember this day. I still remember looking in the mirror and trying to curl that 20-pound dumbbell, and I couldn't even get a full rep. I had to, like, jerk my body around to get it up. And that image is stuck with me. I don't know why, but that image has stuck with me for a long time, that I couldn't even curl that. And I sort of got discouraged, I think, and just left the gym completely from there. We just always skipped gym class. I failed gym class in high school. So I just made it just to make it by, you know what I mean, in high school. Um, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah. It's crazy how things have changed.
Absolutely, but that's the story of so many trainers in the industry. Like
Mhm.
it's just a full circle.
Yeah.
Do you find that you have a certain style of client that gravitates towards you because of your story of adversity or at least your background?
Yeah, definitely. So at the start of my career, I was getting lots of people that, they just want abs, they just want to lose fat. And I started getting more performance based clients about 5 years ago. I'd say halfway through my career, it started to switch. It started to switch where I'm training a lot of personal trainers, actually, a lot of therapists, personal trainers, physiotherapists. The clientele raised quite a bit, and I don't really get those people that just want abs anymore. I'd never actually get contacted by them. I get people that they want to learn a muscle up, or they want to improve their deadlift, or it's more skill specific and more performance based. And those are the type of people I find are a lot more serious into it. Because I would used to train people that want to get ready for Mexico, right? They're like, I got a Mexico trip in 2 months. I need to get ready. And then they do their trip and I never see them again. So I stopped getting those type of clients. So it definitely shifted about 5 years ago. And I can't really say why. I guess social media. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. But I just stopped getting them.
Well, I mean, it's like how you show up to the world. Like you
Yeah.
have a very specific niche brand in which other people cannot like offer that same thing. And so because of that that difference in what you offer, you're going to get a
Mm-hmm.
very specific brand of client.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So with all the things that you do, like what's the coolest thing that the top three coolest things you've ever done in the gym? Because I've seen it in social media, but some of the listeners might not have seen it.
The coolest thing. I would say it's hard to say. I never really thought of that. I would say, well, I guess my biggest accomplishment in the gym would be like deadlifting 6 plates. That was like a big milestone for me. I tried 600, I didn't get it. But 6 plates it came up at Barbell Brigade. That was a big accomplishment. Just getting like a really slow muscle up, I guess like a really slow one. And I guess 11-foot box to box broad jump. So jumping from one box to another, they're 11 feet apart. Those would probably be my biggest three like accomplishments, I guess. Something I'm really proud of to get. I'm still aiming for a lot more goals. The goals never end. That's the one thing I love about having so many different modalities of training is I have so many goals in each area. It's not like, say, I just do powerlifting where I'm just doing 3 movements. I have a ton of goals. Like I can be doing this for the rest of my life. And I'm never going to be happy with it. I'm just going to keep going forward.
Have you ever had a point in your career where you felt you're gonna just leave the training industry? You were just tired of it, and you're like, "Screw this, let's get out of here."
Yeah, when I applied for Steve Nash, actually, yeah. When I applied for the job there, I actually felt I was like, is this what training is? I just gotta sell and I gotta just sell myself and just be a salesman. I thought that's what it was. And a lot of people get turned off by that. And that's really not what it is. If you have the quality there, the people will come to you. You shouldn't have to really sell yourself much. The people will come to you if you provide value. That's the big thing. If you have value, the people will come to you. You get the right clients. Otherwise, you just have to just sell stuff you don't have. So there was a point where I thought that's what it is. I thought that the personal training is just sales, and it's not. It's really not. It doesn't have to be. I guess it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be.
we're on the same page there. There's nothing that I dislike more than just like being pushy and like cornering people into like a contract. Like
Exactly.
if you're doing quality work, people will hear about it. You'll get referrals. That you're gonna be leading by example, and people will want to be a part of that. And like,
Exactly.
yeah, like what is the most rewarding referral you've ever had? Like you must have a client in your roster that has just like told their whole family about you.
My client Char, she tells everyone. She tells all her clients. She tells all her family. She actually told me at Christmas dinner. She brought up my Instagram and showed her family, and they were trying a lot of my challenges. This is like Christmas dinner. I was like, that's crazy. So she's awesome. I say she's like, yeah, she just promotes me so well. Like it's like having like a employee or something that's like just promotes me to everyone. She's awesome. She's really good. And just Megan Calloway, obviously, she's awesome as well too. She promotes me a lot. So
Totally.
she's really good. I actually have something planned with Katie Crew. You know who she is?
Yep.
So I have something planned with her as well. We're gonna do a session. She actually asked me for coaching out of anyone. She has the ability to ask anyone in the world. She asked me for coaching, so we're gonna meet up with her in Toronto probably this year as well too. So that's gonna be awesome.
How did you cross paths with her? Just social media?
Yeah, just with social media, just talking through social media and connecting through there, just a DM message. And she asked me if I do online coaching. I said only if I see her in person first. So we're gonna schedule some sort of assessment in person in Toronto or in Vancouver sometime this year. So that's gonna be awesome. That'll be really good.
That's incredible. With your one-on-one training, have you ever had a moment with a client where you just like got emotional just because something was so inspiring to you, or a client did something you were really proud of?
I would say honestly, the most emotional I've been with a client was actually recently. I don't want to say her name because it's a very personal issue, but I was assessing breathing through my client. But I'm not gonna say her name. Let's just yeah, keep the names out. But I was assessing a client with her breathing, and she wasn't really able to breathe into her diaphragm, and I was just very confused. And I've coached a lot of different people on this, and it should have been the same with her. It takes some people a little bit longer than normal. Some people have a shallow breath when they breathe. And she wasn't really able to do it. And she was getting sharp pain every single time she does. So every time she was able to breathe in her diaphragm, she was getting sharp pain. I was like, my intuition's like something's going on here. I would palpate, between her rib cage and her pelvis and just like, get her to, breathe into my fingers and stuff like that. And I was feeling there was something there. I was feeling like just something wasn't right. So I had her get a scan, and she's actually a radiologist. So she actually was able to scan herself with her employees and the people at work. And she found out that she had 3 large tumors pushing up against her diaphragm in her stomach. So I told her to get a scan without assessing her breathing. She would have never known this. The doctor gave her roughly 5 years to live. It would have been a lot less if she wouldn't have found this out. So without us really focusing on the breathing and her coming to see me, she would have never known this. And she thanked me so much. She said, without me like persisting her and without us really, really going on this breathing because I was really persistent with it. I was really trying to get her. We were doing squats and deadlifts, so it's really important to brace properly. So I was really pushing the breathing on her, and she didn't think it was that big a deal. And then when she got, the scan, she found the tumors, and she just thanked me so much because she would have never found that. That was honestly like that. Actually, I cried. Like it was insane. It was just like that's the most emotional I've been with the client. And obviously that's not a positive thing, but I guess it is in a way, because she would have never known that if we didn't really dive in on that diaphragmatic breathing, because she had no pain at all until she started breathing to her diaphragm. Her body actually restricted that. She was excessively breathing into her chest because every time she would breathe down low, she would get pain. So her body found a way to compensate and go around that to not have pain, and then that's when she didn't really feel anything until we started to wake that up again. So that was a big turning point for me. That was huge. That was like a sort of wake up call that if anything, rely on your gut. Just get a referral, refer out. Sometimes we need to refer if we can't, deal with that. I'm not a doctor at the end of the day. So I just had a feeling, and yeah, that's that story. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's just kind of the due diligence. Like if you have a gut
Yeah,
feeling, like there are so many other professionals out there that can help us help people live as good of a life
exactly.
that they can.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They'll have the same end result is to help people.
with all the flips that you do, like I was watching one of your flips and it looked like you almost broke your tailbone. I was like, holy shit! Like,
Oh, you mean today?
yeah,
That was like an hour. That was like an hour ago, I think. Yeah.
yeah. Have you ever had a moment when you're just kind of walking around somewhere chilling and you just pull out a flip like that, or just some kind of crazy move and catch somebody off guard?
Yeah, I've actually that's the first time I've done flips other than the trampoline park 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm actually really venturing into that sort of tricking aspect right now. But yeah, there's been times where I'm just walking down the street and like maybe I can jump from there to there. Like maybe I can muscle up on that. It's good to sort of treat the world like a playground. Like it's the way I looked at it when I was skating is I go down the road was like, oh, maybe I can grind that rail or maybe I can jump those stairs. And it's really good to just see the world as a playground and not keep the training in the gym. Just keep it fun. Like at the end of the day, that's enjoyable. You don't have to spend all the time in the gym, train everywhere, anytime. You know,
Well, that's a good
you don't have to
attitude.
wait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's the best reaction you've ever had by doing all that stuff?
Well, there's this one. I don't know if it's the best, but it's the most surprising. I was at the Grand Canyon and I jumped from this ledge to ledge, and I would have died if I fell, but I was 100% confident. The gap was only about 7 feet, and I can jump 10 easy, like just block to block. So I was 100% confident, but this Asian lady started yelling at me, and she's like, "Oh my!" I have a video of it too. She was like, "Oh my god!" Started yelling at me, and she was freaking out, and she was like almost crying, and yeah, she was terrified. She was terrified. It was funny. That was the best reaction. Just at the Grand Canyon, me and my friend Axel, we were balancing on the edge. We're doing handstands, we're doing all this stuff, and it's literally like straight down. This is like 8,000 feet. We're talking like straight down, and we were just doing stuff on the edge. And I think like once you have a skill perfected and you have confidence in that skill, people look at it as super dangerous. But like I know how to bail out of it safely. To a certain degree. You obviously can't control everything, but my confidence during those moves we're doing is really high, so I know I'm not going to fall. It's one of those things. But the reactions that people gave us, there's a tour group as well, and we're doing some hand balancing, and they were just freaking out. There's like, what are these guys doing? So
Well, I
that's probably the
mean,
biggest reaction was in Arizona.
that sets you apart for sure. Because I'm a big chick and I
Mm.
wouldn't do shit like that. Like I'd be like, nope, nope, just let him do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just you're scared the first time when we walked to the edge. I guarantee that I was terrified. My heart was beating. But after doing it 3 or 4 times, you just get comfortable. It's just building up that tolerance and that confidence, and you just able to do it. Once you know that mental block is cleared, the anxiety and the worry start to lower, and you just build more confidence, and you just do it. It just takes time. It's the same thing from when I was skateboarding.
Yeah.
You sort of work your way up. Instead of doing a big gap, you jump down halfway first, and you sort of trick your mind into believing you could do it. And once you believe you can do it, you're 100% confident. It just happens.
What's your biggest piece of motivation that you have for your clients?
The biggest piece of motivation, I'd say, to clear away self doubt. Self doubt's the biggest factor to hold people back from doing things they never thought they could do. It just their first limitation is themselves. Is to sort of just say like, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not strong enough, or I'm not ready to compete in powerlifting. I'm not ready to do this. The self doubt's probably the biggest thing. So to clear that, to get that out of your head, and to sort of believe in your own self is the biggest sort of piece for everyone. I'd say is to really believe what you can do and don't let any self limitation hold you back from trying new things.
So how do you break that down for people? Because like And I
Mhm.
say that not meaning that there is a clear, easy answer, but like sometimes we have to like dig a little deeper, and find people's confidence within them.
Yeah. Exactly. For each client, it is different. It is different for each person. They respond to different things. Some people, they need some visual feedback. They need to sort of see the exercise or the move they're doing. Some people need to break it down step by step and sort of work their way towards something they're doing. The biggest thing, well, for each person is different, but I guess break it down in simpler steps. Let their mind sort of feel they can do it and just build confidence constantly. Enforce that confidence in them. Tell them they believe it. Show them you're there. Sort of support them. I like if I'm doing I don't know if you know what a skin the cat is or some exercise on a bar, but you sort of support them. I grab their back and sort of like show them that I'm there the whole time. I have as much contact as possible to show them that if anything happens, I'm right there to catch them and just build up that confidence slowly. And yeah, for each person, it is different. So it's hard to answer, give you a specific question. Each person does respond a lot differently to that.
Well, I mean, like you're speaking to the quality of your communication and like just being able
Yeah,
to like treat each person as a different person. Like if you just had one answer and
exactly.
you're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, man, I got this quote from The Rock and I say this one quote from The Rock every single time." Like
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think
so
that wouldn't work. There's no way.
oh, absolutely. Like my next question for you is how do you have so
Yeah.
much energy? Like what is it? Do you drink coffee? Do you get lots of sleep? What's your secret?
So right now, I'm really tired. I've been up since about what day is it? Thursday, about 3:30, 3:45. So I've been up all day. I had one coffee. Um, I don't know. I don't really feel that much energy. As far as energy goes, I don't think my energy level is extremely high as far as like just basic energy goes. I try to just eat good, eat a lot of food, and just drink one coffee a day. Nothing too excessive.
From the outside in, it looks like a lot of energy. So that's a good thing to
Mm-hmm.
have for someone who makes their living off of essentially energizing
That's
others
right.
in the world. In the last week, what is the thing
Yep.
that brought you the most joy in the last 7 days?
The most joy. The last 7 days, I'd say honestly, my girlfriend. Just like she's been there for me. She's been really supportive. She's like cooked me dinner and stuff. She's giving me the most joy in the last 7 days. Is she's really supportive, really motivating. I'm dealing with a lot of family health issues right now. She's helping me through all that as well. So I'd say that. I'd say like my girlfriend and just people around me, just like really good positive people around me. My clients that are really supportive, and just overall just everyone around me.
That's a good summary. Like it's important to have good people around us because it kind of helps us thrive. It helps us to be happy. How did you cross paths with your girlfriend?
Okay, we met through. Well, we actually met through it's two things. We met through a dating app, but then I saw her on the app, but we followed each other on Instagram. So that well, actually, she followed me, and I didn't follow her until we met, and then we started following each other. Yeah, we just connected on an app, and we just met in person, and everything. The rest is history. It just clicked like instant click. She's also a personal trainer, kinesiologist, so she understands the long days and she understands the clientele and just like the situation, everything. Because some people don't understand what we do, right? Like my parents still think I work out with my clients. Like they don't understand that I actually train them and coach them. They think I actually work out with them. So some people don't really get it as trainers, right? So it's good to have someone that's in the same industry that we can really relate and talk about, form and technique and breakdown, get ideas from each other, and really help growth on the sort of work side and the sort of health side as well too.
It's so true. Like then you don't have to like reinvent the wheel. Like everything's working. You're both in the same rhythm and you can support each other in your own like crazy, weird,
Exactly.
messed up schedule. So, if somebody wants to learn more about you, where do they go? What's the best place to go to learn more about you?
We do have a website. It's www. It's a little outdated, but there is some information on there as well as social media like Instagram at Adair Trainer, or I have a Facebook page, Shawn Adair Facebook, or you can type in at Adair Trainer on Facebook. So there's a few different ways to learn. I'm also Google. You can Google my name. There's some old skating videos of me on there and stuff like that as well.
Awesome. And then if you could give one piece of advice on how to live your life to the fullest in the most authentic way, what would that piece of advice be?
I think to live your life to the fullest, I'd say just do something you enjoy. You know what I mean? Like honestly, if it comes down to work and life, just do something you enjoy to do. Don't care what don't those sort of feelings of people thinking about you or talking down to you hold you back from what you truly want to do. Like, that's the biggest thing is people are always worried about other people think. Who cares, dude? Just be you. You know, do yourself. If you're doing something that you don't enjoy and you're doing that for the whole life, you're pretty much giving your life away, right? So and definitely travel. Like traveling is the biggest thing I think as far as building experiences. Skip the materialistic shit, or I don't know if I can swear on. Skip the
No, you're good.
materialistic stuff. Focus on building yourself and helping people around you, right? That's the biggest thing I'd say.
That's awesome. I'm going to make sure that you are free to get back to your client on time. I'd like to thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me, man. This has been awesome.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you again for listening and supporting the Lifestyle Chase. I know that there was a lot of cutting out while Shawn was talking about where you can find him. So I just wanted to make sure that that's in here because he's a super cool dude. He's doing some really unique things in the industry that make him different than your average trainer. And he can do flips. Like, what's not cool about doing flips? Even though he was just practicing them today, it still counts. So you can find him, if you don't already follow him, you can find him on Instagram at Adair Trainer. And honestly, Instagram is one of the easiest ways to just find people because it branches out from there. You can usually find their website from there. As he said, give him a Google. You'll probably find some stuff about him. The other thing is, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it on social media. Give me a tag. You can tag the Lifestyle Chase. You can definitely tag Shawn because he deserves to get a share. And yeah, just share it with a friend, share it with your dog, share it with your cat, listen to it on the commute to work, wherever you are. If you're stuck in a blizzard, this is the episode to listen to. He's a cool dude, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for supporting the Lifestyle Chase. Catch you next time.